Hi, it's my bedtime. Haven't done a vlog for a while. Um, Wanted to talk about confusion because I think confusion is normal. I think I've discovered that confusion is normal, and this is what's wrong with the world. That there's so much misunderstanding, even of people who love each other and of people who talk well generally and who are quite literate and who are sensible mostly in life. But yeah, the underlying phenomena that's holding us back is confusion. I mean, there's so much deliberate confusion as well. There's elements of society that are kind of conquering and dividing in modern ways and confusing us all. There's arguments for almost everything. And what we've lost is the center. The sensible people are losing. And it comes back to truth, but it comes back to communication, honesty, trustworthiness. But where do you get that from now? Where can you find trustworthiness? You've got to be vulnerable. And in a world where people don't feel they can trust the truth or news or people, then it's a vicious cycle. And this is, I think, where the world's going wrong right now, is this fear that where do we find what's really the meaning of everything, of politics, of consumerism, of capitalism, of communism, of elitism, where these people are ruling us. But even in personal things, I'm trying to figure out if you love someone, like someone, how you go about being vulnerable with that person. It's an interesting one. And I guess that's where you got to trust yourself to a certain extent, I guess, that you have the ability to put yourself out there in some way, that you understand yourself well enough, that you understand the truth of yourself, the value of yourself, to be able to present yourself to somebody else as yourself and be confident in that. So, yeah. The thing is, there's endless things to talk about, but I guess we have to focus a little bit better to be generous with ourselves and with the people that we really want for us to be understood by. So, yeah, I think there's so many different ways to put yourself out as somebody that can be trustworthy. I know in my life, you have a percentage of you that's authentic, and I guess you can never be 100% in life. Your people and me, there's always aspects of us that we hide, that we're ashamed of or not sure of, or that there's that dark side that pushes through to want to explore things, which isn't actually a bad thing, but it can lead to crossing lines and losing people's faith and trust. And I think ultimately it comes down to trying to figure out who are the really important people that you want to trust and put your faith in. and put your soul and your efforts into that. And that's why I think I have really been striving to avoid so much distraction in my life. Work is a massive distraction and completely tiring. But grief is a little bit distracting. But yeah, it's trying to find escapes from things that you don't need to be distracted by. Social media is a huge distraction, particularly for some people. And I think you have to kind of recognize how addictive it potentially is. And ultimately how confusing it is too, because you do form connections with lots of people, which is in some ways so positive, and other ways so confusing. So, I don't know, I think it's lovely to see the creativity of people and to feel a little bit of their personalities, but you can't expect to connect with everybody. I think it's, when it comes to a connection in reality, whether that's through modern technology or through reality, being there with somebody, I guess the whole reality thing is just so important though. The touch and the affection and the giving of yourself more totally. So I hope this hasn't been too confusing. But yeah, life is confusing. Hope you have at least as much success as me in trying to figure it all out.